Hey guys, how are you all? A while ago, I posted a meal plan and prep video wherein I showed the preps, the meal ideas, but not the full recipes, just to keep the video short and sweet. But following that video, I received so many requests to show full recipe of some of the meal preps like dosa batter, tamarind chutney, and also some food recipes like veggie burger, nachos, methi vadas, and many more. So in today's video, I'm going to share exactly that. So this video is kind of a continuation from my last meal prep video. In case you haven't watched it, I will link it in the I button and in the description box too. Just a disclaimer, this video is packed with mouth-watering recipes, so make sure to like this video and add it to your playlist for that weekend cravings. And without any further ado, let's get straight to the recipe number 1, which is Baingan ka Bharta. We call it ringan no odo in Gujarati, for which we need roasted eggplant. There are various ways to roast the eggplant. You can roast it directly on the flame, like done traditionally, barbecue or tandoor it, or simply put it in the oven. Choice is yours. I prefer either of the method depending on how I am feeling my mood. Certainly roasting in the oven will not give you that charred taste, but it is a very less messy method than the other two ones. So, on this particular day, I roasted it in the oven on 250 degrees for around 40 minutes and left it in the oven itself to cool down, and the eggplant is nice and soft. If you like, stuff it with garlic and some green chilies so they get roasted too. For the gravy, I will heat up a pan and add ginger garlic paste to it, and then add 2 medium onions finely chopped and saute till onion is brown. Now I will add 2 finely chopped tomatoes and cook till tomato softens. I will add the spices like coriander powder, cumin powder, salt, garam masala and red chili powder. But skip this if you have added green chilies in the eggplant to roast. I haven't, as with green chilies I cannot control the spice level and then my kids end up complaining it to be too spicy. So I always use Kashmiri red chili in my food. Now cook this till the oil separates from the gravy. Finally, add heaps of fresh coriander and shallots. These 2 ingredients add amazing flavor to the bharta, so never skip them. Finally, add roasted and mashed eggplant and adjust salt according to your taste, and ringan no odo is ready. We love to eat this with Bajra no Rotlo or Bajra roti, especially in winters. I am not a pro at making Bajra Rotlo and still in the learning process, so I will show you some pro tips from my mom-in-law. She makes amazing Bajra no Rotlo. So tip number 1 is to make the dough enough for 2 Bajra roti at a time, and always make fresh dough. Add water in shifts. Once the dough is roughly binded, divide in half and continue to add little water and knead the other half, and it should turn smooth. Now make the roti with hands, which is seriously a big skill and I'm still practicing it. My rotis are much smaller than hers, so that it's easily manageable. One mistake I used to do is to make the bajra roti very thin, and that way it used to never puff, so do not make thin rotis. These are on the little thicker side. Now roast on one side, then flip and cook well on other side, and before turning, apply little water. This will give you maximum chances of bajra no rotlo to puff. Press it gently with hands and that's all you can do. But practice makes a man perfect, and once you start to cook it over and over again, I'm sure you'll get the hang of it. Finally, open the rotlo and apply ghee and serve with sliced onions, ghee gaur and chas. Now let's jump from desi to videshi. I will be making nachos as my next recipe. This is usually our Friday night food, especially when we are watching a movie with kids. I still remember the day I made it, we watched How to Train Your Dragon Part 1, and I laughed so much in that movie. Anyway, to a pan, I have added olive oil, then added tomato puree. I'm using here macro tomato cans, as I have observed canned tomato taste much better in this recipe compared to the fresh ones. Once it comes to boil, I will add canned black beans and cook for around 5 minutes. Next, I have roughly layered the corn chips on a baking tray. You don't have to be perfect. And I will add perfect Italiano 3 cheese mix on it and quickly melt the cheese using griller function in my oven. Once the cheese is melted, I will layer it with black beans, vegetables of your choice. I am using freshly cut tomatoes, green capsicum, red capsicum, yellow capsicum, sweet corn and red onions. Finally, layer it with avocado. I will simply mash avocado, add salt and pepper and lemon to it and generously layer it on the top. Finally, finishing it with leftover cheese on the top and bake it again till cheese melts and is a little golden brown. Make it on the weekend and enjoy with your family. So third recipe for today is Paneer Tikka salad. I have shared this recipe before, but for the completeness of my meal prep video and for those who haven't watched the video in which I shared this salad recipe, I'm including it here again. So if you have watched it, maybe skip it to the next recipe, which is veggie burger, and it's a must try, so mouth-watering. I will include the timestamp in the description box below for your ease. So I've made the marinade with yogurt, green chutney, ginger and garlic paste, kasuri methi, garam masala, black salt and chaat masala. Mix it well and marinade is ready. It takes no time if green chutney is ready. Add paneer to it and let it marinate for at least few hours before we roast it. And before we roast the paneer, I will roast all the veggies that I want to use in the salad. You can choose veggies of your choice. I have taken cabbage, carrots, capsicum, broccoli and green beans. But if I'd be honest, I didn't quite prefer the taste of broccoli in this salad as it didn't go well with the overall tandoori taste of the paneer and the marinade. So I will definitely skip it next time. Beans were fine, it added that required crunch to the salad. Finally, I will add the paneer to the pan and grill on both sides. Now time to assemble the salad. Take a big bowl, add all the roasted veggies. Also add the fresh vegetables like tomatoes, cucumbers, red onions and the leftover marinade. Otherwise, simply mix yogurt with green chutney and make the dressing and add on top. And finally, add the grilled and yummy paneer tikka. Sprinkle some black salt and chaat masala and lemon and yummy grilled paneer tikka salad is ready. Next recipe is one of my family's favorite. It's vegetable burger. Just like pizzas, my family does not prefer to eat burger from the restaurants as they only like homemade burgers, which I am so proud of. So I have peeled and boiled around 4 to 5 potatoes, and along with it I boiled 2 carrots and some green peas in the same pressure cooker. Only add the required water, which is around half cup, and boil it for 3 whistles. Once the pressure cooker is cooled down, mash all the vegetables and add ginger garlic paste, soaked poha, garam masala, cumin and coriander powder, salt to taste and mix it all and make big patties. I will roast them in a steel skillet, and one sure way to make steel skillet non-stick is to heat it up on medium flame for around 3 to 5 minutes. Now the test is after 5 minutes, if you sprinkle few drops of water, it should roll like this. If it bursts, then pan is not hot enough to make it non-stick. And if the water rolls like this, then it has reached that perfect temperature. Now it's time to add oil. It's actually quite fun to watch this water rolling around in the pan. I always do that. Anyway, roast the patties and I will also defrost the green chutney cubes. Sometimes when I have made a big batch of green chutney, I freeze some of it, and it definitely does come in handy, especially on weekends or on Friday nights when kids do not feel like eating shak rotli and want to eat something exciting. Now it's just a matter of quickly assembling the burger, for which I will toast the burger bread. Then add a slice or 2 of cheese and quickly add hot patty on the top so that cheese melts. Then add green chutney and tomato ketchup, and lastly vegetables of your choice. Over the years, I have observed that we do not like lettuce or cabbage in the burger, not even cucumbers. So our signature veggies are only green capsicum, tomatoes and onion, and we love this combination. Serve it with green chutney and ketchup and yummy burgers are ready. If you have meal prepped for the patties and the green chutney, then assembling the burgers will take no time, trust me. Next recipe is Ragada Pattice, and you know what? This is the simplest recipe that I have found on the net for making Ragada Pattice. A lot of times we follow a lot of fusion and complicate the recipes unnecessarily, whereas I have realized that the simple recipes give you the most comfortable and the authentic taste compared to the fusion ones. So, to make the Ragada Pattice, I have soaked green chanas for around 6 to 8 hours. You can also take the yellow chanas if you like. To this, I will add salt, turmeric powder, coriander and cumin powder, some fennel seeds, and boil it for 3 whistles and then 5 minutes on low flame. Once boiled and cooled, add water to it as ragda is runny in consistency and adjust salt according to the amount of water you have added. Add crushed or juliennes of ginger and finely chopped coriander and ragda is ready. Seriously, it's as simple as that. You might have to boil it for 5-10 minutes if your ragda has not thickened. A very simple recipe but no compromise on the flavor. For patty, I will saute some cumin seeds, add hing or asafoetida, ginger paste and green chilies if you like. I don't, as my kids, again, they find it spicy, so I just skip it. Lastly, add mashed potatoes and salt to taste. Let the mixture cool down and make patties. The trick to make the most amazing patties is to roast them in ghee. Just like ragdas, patties need to be simple and not many spices so that the authentic flavor can be enjoyed. Finally, plate it up with patties followed by hot ragda and date tamarind chutney, green chutney and some chaat masala, nylon save, don't forget the coriander leaves and chopped onions if you like. A very simple yet very flavorful recipe and a must try. So guys, these were all the food recipes that I have to share today. Now I'll show you some preps, and the first one is Methi Vadas. My kids really enjoy them, and no matter how big batch I make, it always vanishes in a day or two. So let me share yummy Methi Vada recipe, which I make a lot in winters and my kids absolutely love it, especially when it comes hot out of the pan. So I will take 2 bunches of methi here. I'm making a big batch, but you can certainly take half the amount of methi. Wash and chop the methi. To this, add 3 tablespoons of yogurt, turmeric powder, red chili powder, asafoetida, heaps of white sesame seeds, fennel seeds, salt, ginger paste, sugar, 2 spoons of oil and mix it all well. Once mixed, add 2 cups of wheat flour, 1 cup chickpea flour and half cup of Bajra flour. So it's like 2:1:2 ratio. Mix and knead the soft dough with buttermilk or chas. Leave it for around 10 minutes and then make small vadas like this and deep fry on medium flame. Do not fry on high flame, as otherwise it will not be cooked thoroughly from inside and will also turn out to be very soft later on from outside too. Frying on medium flame will ensure it is crispy from outside and well cooked from inside. Whenever I make this, I always pack it for my kids the next day for their school lunchbox, and I also make ringan no shak, and these vadas in the shak taste amazing. Next, let me share my version of dosa batter. I received so many requests to show how I make dosa batter at home. Well, there are many variations out there. I will share how I like to do it. I soak 1 cup idli rice, the idli boiled rice I think it's called, a 1/4 cup of urad dal and 1 spoon methi. I soak all together overnight. I have seen people actually soaking all of them separately, especially the dal, but I'm too lazy to soak and grind separately. Before grinding, I will also soak a handful of washed and soaked poha. This step is must as it helps in good fermentation of the batter. Another must have to make good dosa batter at home is to have a good RPM mixer grinder. Only then this process is easy, otherwise grinding the dosa batter can drive you mad. So first I will grind at high speed, and once it is grinded smooth, I will grind another minute or 2 at low speed. Keep an eye that your grinder does not overheat. Maybe give it a little rest in between, but do not skip grinding a minute on low speed, as this will make the batter airy, which will help in rising and better fermentation of the batter. And that's about it, guys. Leave it for 6 to 8 hours at room or warm temperature and it will ferment nicely. Next recipe is Kesar Milk. I'm a little surprised by this request because I honestly don't do much to make the Kesar Milk. You know what I do? I take cold milk, put saffron strands in it and put it back in the fridge overnight. Till morning, the saffron has infused nice flavor and color to the milk. Now I boil the milk as usual and add cardamom and pistachios to it. Once the milk has boiled, simmer the flame to lowest and let it simmer for another 15 minutes, and that's it. Kesar milk is ready. You can serve it warm or cold. My kids prefer either way, pretty much. But this is the easiest recipe, which is why I didn't even bother showing a lot in my meal prep video, because the fridge is doing all the work for me and I am doing pretty much nothing here. So give it a try and do let me know if it works. So last recipe for today is date tamarind chutney. I always have stock of this chutney at home. I deep freeze it and always it comes in handy with Ragada Pattice, pani puri, dahi puri, potato puffs and many other recipes. You name it and we eat it. Even with samosas, it just tastes amazing. With kachoris, oh my god, now my mouth is getting watery. It tastes 1,000 times better than the ones that you buy from supermarket. As the ones from the supermarket, I have observed they have an aftertaste, maybe of preservative or something, but I hate that. So I prefer to make it at home. So to make date tamarind chutney, I have taken 2:1 ratio of dates versus tamarind. So date is double the amount of tamarind, otherwise the chutney will turn up too sour, and this chutney is sweet and sour, not sour and sour. So de-seed them. I have bought the seedless ones, but still sometimes they have a seed or two hidden inside somewhere, so be mindful of that. Wash this and soak it in warm water for at least 6 to 8 hours. Next, transfer it to a big deep pan and add water to this. Enough water to soak all the date tamarind in it. Then bring it to boil. If there is froth that is building on the top, remove it. Now boil it for another 10-15 minutes on low flame, then leave it to cool down to the room temperature. Once cool, blend it or grind it in the mixer grinder. Once grinded, sieve it to remove the excess fibers. Now this is a very tedious process and will test your patience. It certainly does mine. Even just talking about it, I'm getting a little restless. But remember that this is once in 6 months process and it's worth it. It will drain you though, but it is worth it. Now we need to boil this mixture again so that it increases its shelf life. So add some water to adjust the consistency. I like to keep it thick, and whenever I have to use it, I add water to make it little runny. I will add jaggery sugar or the ones that you get from the supermarket, which is like the powder form of the jaggery, so that you don't have to do that extra mehnat. Add that. So it's called, I think, gur shakkar as well. Gur shakkar, salt, red chili powder to this, and boil it till the top layer becomes shiny. Now this is the sign that you have to stop boiling and let it cool down. Once it's cooled down, store it in the deep freezer. Now every time I want to use it, I will scoop it out, add some water and microwave it or just heat it on the gas stove. And you know what? My kids love, when I'm scooping it out, they love to eat it as an ice cream as well. But they only get only like a quarter spoon or something. Anyways, so this brings me to the end of this video. And I hope you found some interesting recipes in the video. And please do not forget to like this video. And I shall see you in my next video. And bye for now.